So the original Powerpuff Girls series made their debut back in 1998 by Cartoon Network Studios, with the last episode airing at 2008 from Cartoon Network Studios until the reboot came in at 2016. However, before the reboot even happened at 2016, there was a different kind of Powerpuff Girls that aired in Asia and Australia at 2006 through 2007. And this was of course Powerpuff Girls Z, made by Toei Animation Studios. This was still aired in Cartoon Network, albeit it was more popular in Asia and Australia, and it was rarely aired, or I don't remember it being aired in Europe or the Americas. Still, I was a big fan of both series and I've watched both of them back when I was in Asia and when I moved to Europe. And one prominent memory that I had from the original series was that one episode when the girls were imagining how things would be like for them when they grow up to be teenagers. And that one episode stuck to me as a child because after the series has officially ended before the reboot, I kind of hope that Cartoon Network or Toei Animation Studios would make a grown-up version of Powerpuff Girls so fans of the show can grow up with the show. And I guess the closest that we've been on that was Powerpuff Girls Z, because the original Powerpuff Girls, I think they were in elementary school or some sort of primary school, whilst Powerpuff Girls Z, the girls are kind of reimagined to be in a middle school type of scenario. So I wanted to expand on that in this video and show you guys what I would think the Powerpuff Girls would look like as, let's say, 16, 17-year-old teenagers. So without any further ado, let's get started with Blossom. So before I go and explain Blossom's redesign, I'd like to set the scenario, just so that we have an understanding of where the girls are in this current point in their life. So I would have imagined that they would have been in year 11 at this point, which is grade 10th, I believe, in America. And at this point, the girls' personality has an obvious separation as well as their style. But I can appreciate that as children, they were already quite different to each other anyways, and they had different interests and different personalities as well. So I can already appreciate that. But in their teenage years, I would imagine that the separation in terms of how their personalities differ would have been a bit more clear. And as a child, we do see that Blossom has always been the voice of reason and leadership within the group. And I would imagine that as Blossom grows up, that sense of leadership and voice of reason would have only strengthened. So in high school as a teenager, I would imagine that she would have been the type of person to always run for student council or student council president, whilst of course keeping her grades up and being quite intelligent. I could definitely see her excelling in pretty much all of the subjects and be the type of person that a lot of students trust and of course admire. I did take some slight inspiration from Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony, specifically her equestrian girl version, so that's why I kind of put Blossom rocking that polo style with a collar and a school vest with a school type skirt, knee-high socks as well as smart shoes. You could say that her style is quite uniformed and it would look like what a typical uniform would be in England at least. In both the original series and Powerpuff Girls Z, we do see that she rocks a kind of ponytail style, and I do love that about her, but I would imagine that as she matured, she would have kind of put that ponytail down to a low ponytail instead, just because it looks a bit more mature compared to a high ponytail. I still want to give homage to her original designs, that's why I gave her this headband that sort of resembled her bow from when she was younger. I still wanted to give her some pink elements, but not too much, so her polo top is pink and so is her jewelry, but her main colors are now black and red. And this is what Blossom would look like in high school. And in this scenario, you'd kind of see her looking annoyed, almost like she's telling someone off. But this would all make sense a little bit later on when I complete the designs for the other two girls. But let's go ahead and move on to Bubbles. So Bubbles was the sweetheart of the group. She was very kind even towards her enemies, and there was many episodes where a villain would ask for forgiveness or mercy, and she's always the one who's quick to forgive, whilst Blossom was a bit more unsure and Buttercup definitely didn't really fall for any of that. And in Powerpuff Girls Z, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think she was quite popular with the boys in terms of her class, and not just the boys as well, but she had the most friends in her school. A lot of people tend to admire her because she was really cute and she was very kind. And as a teenager, I don't really see why she would change her personality or her attitude. I think, no doubt, she would still be the very kind, popular, very likable person. I think she would definitely be the type of person that would take interest in everyone else's interests. She may not be good at it, but she would definitely be a very popular person just because of her pure interest in others. So looking at her current style, I thought she should still have that cute style. You know, I gave her a dress and it doesn't look like it now, but she will have some colorful tights with semi-heeled shoes. She would keep her space buns, but I would love if her hair became longer and curly. In Powerpuff Girls Z, she had a pigtail style, but it was curly. And I wanted to mix both styles from the original and the Powerpuff Girls Z version into this version. So she would definitely rock the space buns. She would have blue streaks on her hair whilst having that curled style again. I think she'd look really cute in soft pastel, colourful type of outfits. Almost like a really subtle Gyaru style. Because I just can't imagine her wearing anything too dull. I would think that she would be the type of person to definitely wear something really cute with really cute patterns. She would 100% be the fashionista of the group as well. I would say that I wouldn't be too surprised if she were to make her own outfits as well. And in this scenario, you could see her looking really excited. She's really hyped up. She loves hyping people up. And I guess you guys can already guess who she's really excited about in this scene. So let's just move on to Buttercup. I think we can all agree that Buttercup was quite unconventional. She was definitely the tomboy type. She loved roughhousing. I think many of her friends at school were boys as well. And in Powerpuff Girls Z, when she first transformed into her Powerpuff Girl uniform, you saw that she was a little bit shy and unsure with wearing a skirt because she doesn't normally wear that. In Powerpuff Girls Z, the girls aren't actually sisters. The chemical Z didn't create them. They were all just normal girls until the chemical Z formula had, found them and transformed them into magical girls, right? So Buttercup had brothers of her own in her own family. So when she grew up, they were her only role models, which is probably the reason why she dressed more like a boy than she did as a girl, or at least she was more comfortable dressing up as a boy. And I completely understand that. Growing up, I grew up with 3 brothers and I was the second eldest. So I definitely dressed up more like a boy than I did as a girl when I was a child. So I can completely appreciate that. But I would say in high school, she would definitely be a more sporty kind of girl. She'd always be out and about competing with the other boys. She would definitely be the type to watch sports as well and always wear the kit from her favorite sports team. In this case, I put her in a typical basketball shirt. I just thought it's really fitting. I would imagine that she would want her arms to be free, hence why I gave her a basketball shirt. Not gonna lie, I don't watch basketball, so I have no idea what a basketball shirt would typically look like, but I'd say she probably kind of made up her own. Huge B at the front for Buttercup, definitely would have to be green. And if you look really closely, she has a number 1 on her shirt, because I'd imagine she'd always want to be number 1. But instead of rocking a dress or a skirt, I would say that she'd probably be a bit more comfortable with shorts. I could have put her in leggings, but I thought that might have been a bit too restrictive. At least for me, I find it really difficult to run around with leggings. She's definitely going to keep her daredevil type of personality, hence why you could see her balancing on a ball. She probably will hurt herself. But I kept her hair short because I would imagine she would prefer her hair short. Wouldn't really have the time or energy to try and style it if it was long. And if you look closely at her skin, you could see that there are some discoloration, because I would imagine that she'd be really stubborn. So when she goes outside, especially on a hot sunny day, she would definitely not wear any sunscreen. even though her skin is quite sensitive and it would just cause her skin to discolor. Perhaps this would be vitiligo, which can be caused by sunburns. This happened to my brother when we were younger as well, because he refused to wear sunscreen, so now he has some vitiligo scars all across his arm and shoulder. And it's summer right now in the UK, so if you are in the UK, make sure you wear sunscreen when you go out. So this is the final piece with all the girls interacting with each other in a sort of scene. You can see that Buttercup is trying to balance on a ball. She will probably fall over. Bubbles is really excited. She's never seen this trick before and she's just hyping Buttercup up. And Blossom is just over there trying to get Buttercup to get off the ball before she hurts herself. It would be really nice if an animation studios were to remake the Powerpuff Girls, but as grown-ups, or as teenagers at least, so that we could see how they plan on saving their city whilst they're in the middle of their exam season, or whilst they're trying to figure themselves out, find themselves in society. You know, how would they actually still want to be superheroes as adults, or is this something that not all of them are a big fan of? But anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. It did take me quite a long time to redesign and draw everyone in one video, so if you can like and subscribe, I would really appreciate that. And if you've watched this far in the video, thank you so much. It does mean the world to me. And if you have any other suggestions on who I should redesign next, feel free to just let me know in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!